The precinct was a symphony of deceit. To Elias Finch, the homicide division wasn't a room of desks and coffee stains, but a swirling galaxy of chromatic falsehoods. A nervous mustard-yellow haze pulsed around a detective lying about his overtime. A slick indigo shimmer coated a desk sergeant's story about a lost report. For 20 years, this had been his world, a constant, exhausting barrage of other people's lies. He called it the Chroma. It was a gift that had made him a legend and a curse that had hollowed him out. The file on his desk was for a woman named Ilara Vance. Her husband, billionaire philanthropist Arthur Vance, had been found slumped over his mahogany desk, a single, precise stab wound to the heart. The murder weapon, a rare Venetian letter opener, was wiped clean. There were no signs of forced entry, no frantic struggle. It was a ghost of a crime scene. Finch found Ilara Vance in the sterile interview room, her posture as straight and elegant as the pearl necklace at her throat. She was pale, her eyes red-rimmed, but her gaze was steady. "I was at the opera," she said, her voice a soft, hollow thing. "La Traviata. I came home around 11:30 and found him." A single tear traced a path down her cheek. He was my world. Finch watched, waiting for the telltale flare. A flicker of acidic green for a simple lie, a throbbing crimson for malice. He saw nothing. Around Ilara Vance, there was only a field of pure, unadulterated white. It was the most unsettling thing he had ever witnessed. In all his years, he had never encountered a truth so absolute it was blinding. His partner, Detective Miller, a man whose aura constantly flickered with a low-level, moss-green anxiety, leaned in back at the office. "She's clean, Finch. Alibi checks out. Security footage at the Opera House, credit card receipt at the bar. It's airtight." "No one is this clean," Finch muttered, staring at the evidence board. The white aura haunted him. It was a void in his chromatic universe, an impossibility that felt like a personal insult. He delved into Arthur Vance's life. The philanthropist was a saint in public, but Finch's ability peeled back the layers. Business partners shimmered with bruised purple envy when they spoke of his success. A political rival radiated a slick, oily orange when denying a smear campaign. But every path that led back to Ilara was paved with that infuriating, pristine white. He interviewed her again, this time at the Vance penthouse. Sunlight streamed through floor-to-ceiling windows, illuminating a space that felt more like a museum than a home. "Was your marriage happy, Mrs. Vance?" "It was comfortable," she said, her hands folded neatly in her lap. The white aura remained, unwavering. "We had an understanding. He had his world, I had mine. There was respect." Finch pressed, searching for a crack. "And his world? Did it include other women? Business deals that crossed a line?" Ilara's eyes met his, and for the first time he saw a flicker of something human beneath the serene mask. Sadness, perhaps. Arthur was a complex man. He built empires and broke hearts. It was his nature. But he never broke his word to me. The white light intensified, so pure it hurt to look at. Finch felt a migraine brewing behind his eyes, a throbbing pain born of cognitive dissonance. His gift, his infallible compass, was pointing directly at a woman who could not have physically committed the crime, and declaring her innocent of any deception. The break came not from an aura, but from a whisper. An old retired butler, his own aura a faded, honest gray, mentioned Arthur's first wife, a woman named Isabel who had drowned 25 years ago in a tragic sailing accident, a case that was officially closed. Finch dug up the old file. The report was sparse, the conclusion swift. A storm, a capsized boat, a body never recovered. He found a single faded photograph. The resemblance to Ilara was uncanny. They could have been sisters. He confronted Ilara in the penthouse as the city lights began to glitter below. The white aura was still there, a shield of absolute truth. "Isabel," he said, the name hanging in the air between them. Ilara's composure didn't break, it deepened. "She was my sister. The report says she died." "The report was wrong," Ilara said, and the white light glowed, sincere and unassailable. "Arthur told everyone she died. He brought her here, to this apartment. He kept her, contained, for years. He broke her, not with violence, but with isolation. He convinced her she was nothing without him." Finch's blood ran cold. "Where is she now?" "She died in this room 6 months ago, of a broken heart. He killed her just as surely as if he'd used that letter opener." The pieces clicked into place with a terrible final logic. "You're not Ilara. You're Isabel." The woman smiled, a small, heartbreaking gesture. "I had to become Ilara to get close to him, to make him pay. My sister spent her life waiting for me to save her. By the time I discovered the truth, it was too late for her, but not for justice." Finch finally understood. The white aura wasn't a lie. It was the pure, unadulterated truth of her belief. She wasn't lying about her identity. She had become Ilara Vance. Her mission and her persona fused into a single, unshakable reality. She believed with every fiber of her being that she was avenging her sister. The alibi, the perfect composure, the story, it was all part of a role she had lived so completely that it had become her truth. He looked at her, this woman who had lived a lie so profound it had transcended falsehood and become a kind of sacred fact. She had weaponized the truth. "You'll take me in now, detective," she said, standing. The white aura began to soften, to dim, its purpose fulfilled. Finch thought of the chromatic symphony of lies he endured every day. He thought of Arthur Vance, a man whose aura in photographs probably radiated 100 different colors of deception. And he looked at Isabel, bathed in the fading light of her own terrible, honest conviction. He made his choice. "The case is cold," Elias Finch said, his voice rough. He turned and walked out of the penthouse, leaving the ghost of a truth behind him. For the first time in 20 years, the world was silent, and he was utterly, completely blind.